They say a good neighbor is a rare find, like a four-leaf clover or a decent parking spot in the city. For years I lived in blissful ignorance, assuming everyone had a normal relationship with the people next door. We'd wave hello, maybe borrow a cup of sugar, nothing too dramatic. Then we moved to the suburbs. Suddenly, I understood. It was all about the driveway. Our new house had a shared driveway, a narrow strip of concrete separating our property from the one next door. It wasn't ideal, but we were new here, eager to embrace the suburban dream. Little did I know, this driveway would become the battleground for a war of attrition, a testament to the pettiness that can fester between neighbors. Enter Gary, our nemesis in the form of a middle-aged accountant with a penchant for passive-aggressive parking. Gary drove a boat of a car, a gas-guzzling SUV that took up way more than its fair share of space. He'd park it with surgical precision, always slightly over the line, ensuring that squeezing our sensible sedan into the remaining space felt like threading a needle in an earthquake. Each morning became a delicate dance of vehicular Tetris, a test of patience and parallel parking skills. We'd leave notes, polite at first, then increasingly desperate. Could you please be mindful of the shared space? We're having trouble getting out. Gary, of course, remained unmoved. He'd offer a tight smile and a non-committal shrug, the picture of suburban innocence. What started as a minor annoyance quickly escalated into an all-consuming obsession. I'd find myself circling the block late at night, praying for Gary to move his car. My wife, normally the picture of serenity, would erupt in frustrated sighs every time we pulled into the driveway. The stress was palpable, a dark cloud hanging over our once peaceful home. We joked darkly about installing a security camera just to document Gary's parking offenses, evidence to present in some imaginary suburban court. Maybe we'd start leaving passive-aggressive notes of our own, haiku about inconsiderate neighbors or lyrics from Parking Lot Blues by the Driveway Dwellers, a band we'd invent, obviously. The humor was a coping mechanism, a way to vent the frustration that threatened to consume us. A history of hostility, race, and remembered wrongs. To make matters worse, the parking situation seemed to tap into a deeper vein of tension. We were a mixed-race family, new to a predominantly white neighborhood. Gary, with his carefully cultivated air of suburban respectability, had made it clear from the beginning that we weren't quite his kind of people. There had been subtle snubs, whispered comments, and a general air of suspicion that followed us like a shadow. The parking, we realized, wasn't just about space. It was about power, about marking territory, about reminding us that we were outsiders in this carefully curated world of manicured lawns and unspoken rules. Did you park here just to annoy me? The humor in the horrible. Humor, as they say, is tragedy plus time, or in our case, a healthy dose of absurdity. As the weeks turned into months, we couldn't help but find the humor in our predicament. We started referring to Gary as the parking pirate, imagining him with an eye patch and a parrot on his shoulder, commandeering our driveway with his monstrous SUV. "Ahoy, matey," I'd say to my wife. "Looks like the parking pirate has struck again. Prepare to abandon ship." She'd roll her eyes, but I could see the hint of a smile. We even started a betting pool with friends, taking wagers on how many inches over the line Gary would park each day. It was all in good fun, a way to reclaim some sense of control in a situation that felt increasingly out of our hands. Kill them with kindness and maybe a casserole? Strategies for survival. Desperate times call for desperate measures, or at least some creative problem-solving. We considered all our options, from the practical to the outlandish. Should we install those collapsible traffic cones that magically appear when you need them? Hire a professional mediator to negotiate a driveway truce? Bake Gary a batch of cookies laced with passive-aggressive resentment? In the end, we opted for a multi-pronged approach. We invested in a set of those bright orange parking cones just to establish some clear boundaries. We also decided to try killing Gary with kindness, showering him with homemade baked goods and friendly conversation, hoping to wear down his resistance with sugar and charm. It was a long shot, but at that point, we were willing to try anything.